What happens when life hands you a curveball and you get hit with a major health challenge to the point where you can't work, to the point where you have to close down your business? Well, today's story, today's special guests have gone through this very journey. This is a very special story of not just of challenge, but of the outcome of how they were able to turn that serious moment in their life around within just 12 months and now create a life of freedom and created the perfect lifestyle business. So I want to give a very special welcome to Lucy and Reefe. Thank you guys for coming on today.
Thanks so much, Matt. We're so excited to be here.
Well, so am I, guys, to share this massively inspirational story as I've gotten to know you, particularly over the last few weeks with your accountability. So Lucy and Reefe are clients of ours. They're on the Champions program. But as I just mentioned, before that, let's just go back, Lucy and Reefe. But Lucy, can you share with us what happened health-wise? Because it was very serious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So at the time, about February last year, we were in the thick of running our own solar installation business here in Adelaide.
Yep.
I was on maternity leave with our two young boys, and yeah, just really out of the blue, I got sick, and we just couldn't get me back on track. It's been a massive journey. Originally, I was diagnosed with nerve damage, and that just seemed really confusing for us. We went into this appointment, and the specialist was, after a lot of investigations, he was like, "Yep, we've found the solution. It's nerve damage. We can't tell you how you got it, and you just have to be on medication for the rest of your life." And I was pretty, just unwell. It's hard to explain. We were in and out of hospital, quite unpredictable. I would just lose consciousness, lost a lot of weight, and it was just so sudden.
And look at it, the two of you young and fit in your prime, and you're suddenly struck down. And I know, Lucy, you're an ex-lawyer, and prior to your young family. Reefe, you're running the solar installation business, mate. This must have been a tough time.
Yeah, it was really tough, especially with the two young boys at home, and trying to support the family, go to work, and then Lucy's usually at home looking after the kids, and it was just day after day. You just wouldn't know if you were going to get a phone call that day to be like, "You need to come home now because I'm unwell," or whether you'd be able to complete the work for that day. It was a pretty tough time.
Really tough time. As you know, in our community, we've seen a bit of this. This is sadly, I think, in society. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you will know people too that will go through these serious health challenges. And what I want to look at, guys, because obviously that we're going to get to the point where things have turned around well. But before we do, can you tell us how things actually went worse, particularly financially? And if you don't, Lizzie, I'm going to read it out because it's on your email to me here. But you've written some pretty powerful stuff here. But do you mind sharing what then happened for you and Reefe?
Yeah. So as I said, at the time I was on maternity leave, so we'd made the decision for me to not go back to work after having the kids and take some time to raise them. That put a lot of pressure on Reefe because he was the sole income earner. And I mean, the business was going well. We had a team of about 3 guys working for us. We'd just put so much into it to build it up to that stage. But we were exhausted at that point anyway. And then when I got sick, like Reefe was saying, it slowly progressed. My capacity just diminished. So Reefe would be on site with the guys and I'd just give him a call and say, "You need to get back here." We'd be going to hospital. So every time he needed to be home with me, the jobs couldn't get done. So we'd have to pay the bills for the employees, with no work coming in. It just we were terrified. We just were seeing different specialists. No one could give us a straightforward answer. We started to realise, well, I think Reefe did. He's always been an amazing advocate for me, especially during that time. And he was the one that really said, we just need to stop and we need to go find answers and slow life down. And it was a really hard decision, just because with 2 young kids, we'd poured our heart and soul into building up our solar business to where it was at that stage. So to stop and go, you know, there's nothing we can do. We have to shut it down. Otherwise, we're just going to get more and more in debt. It was hard.
Yeah, it was a very scary time, and you know, it's hard to make those big decisions. Often you don't make those decisions until you're forced to. And yeah, at the time it was, well, really there was no other option. In the end, we had to just shut down and try and get Lucy better.
Wow, go Reefe, mate. It's tough. Like we've helped lots of people through. Well, I won't say lots, but sadly, too many people through a similar thing. And Reefe, so you then become the primary carer. You close down the business. None of that. You move in with the in-laws. Would have been a challenging time like that. So things are tough. And you said, I'm going to read it out here too. In that email you were writing to me, we were terrified, but through that darkness came a shift. Yeah. You'd already made the difficult decision to shut down the solar business to focus on healing. But even when you're at your financial lowest with young kids and no clear income, we somehow felt less anxious than ever before. Yeah. Why was that? What started happening then? Let's get into the inspiring bit.
Yeah.
Although there's still challenges if you're listening to this, but let's get into what because you got to pay attention to feelings, right? You guys felt less anxious than you did before. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, so not too long before I got sick, Reefe had been hounding me for a little while to learn more about marketing, specifically how to run our website and how to generate more leads. Okay. Being in the solar industry, it's a very interesting space. It's highly competitive, and it's such a great resource for Australian homes, but it attracts a lot of people that I think they just want to make quick, easy money. So the marketing can feel quite almost untrustworthy, almost a bit car salesman-y, I describe it sometimes. And we'd worked with a few different marketing companies, and we always just found that the content they were producing was very generic. We were spending a lot of time ourselves trying to rewrite it to put in. Reefe just has this amazing knowledge about solar. I'll listen to him on the phone talking to a client, and I'll go, there, exactly what you just explained to a client. That's the type of information we want to be sharing with our community. And our marketing companies just never aligned, I guess, with that. So we always felt like we were going in and trying to say, no, this is how we want to come across, and this is what we want to write. So I think Reefe had also talked about how you never knew what you were getting with these marketing companies in solar. They would talk a lot of terms, and they would give us our monthly reports, but we never really understood the value. So I think he said early on to me, we need to gain more knowledge on this. And I was always just like, too much on my plate.
Go Reefe.
Not interested.
The quiet achiever here, Reefe. You've seriously impressed me over the last few weeks. So keep going. What happened? So you guys, Reefe, you worked this out before Lucy got sick, I take it. Was that always in your mind, the next step in your solar business, fix up that marketing side or something, was it?
Yeah, pretty quickly when we started the business, and at that time it was more myself because we just had our first child and Lucy was busy being a full-time mum. Being a good electrician doesn't make you have a good business. There's many other aspects that are more important than just getting on the tools and doing a good job. And obviously marketing was a major part of that and probably the first step in the process. So I always invested money into it, but we didn't really have time. And then you're investing the money but not really getting the results you want, not getting the communication with your clients that you wish for. And pretty quickly, after a year or two, I realized you really need to bring this in-house, A, to cut the cost down of it, and B, also be able to shape the messages and send the information when you want to do it and the way you want to do it. So from about that time, I was always on to Lucy, like, at some stage we need to learn this and get this dialed in. But then it's obviously about finding the right people to help you with that training and the right avenues to go down, because, marketing is quite a broad niche and a broad area as well. Yeah.
I think with solar, it's just because it's so competitive, you need something more from your marketing company than just the generic material that a marketer could write. You need to set yourself apart. So one of the first articles that we ever wrote was Reefe had gone up onto a roof, 10-year-old solar system, and was looking at the panels and comparing them to other brands and saying, look how well these have lasted. And that just gained so much traction. And we thought, this is the type of content that actually helps people gain trust in us, but also, understand solar. So I think Reefe had met one of your other champions, Chris and Beck.
Yeah, we were travelling around in a 4-wheel-drive bus. They
stopped by little old Adelaide, and I think Reefe and Chris spent 2 days out in the surf, surfing and chatting all things marketing. So they really got us onto the e-Business Institute, which was fantastic.
Thank you, Chris and Beck.
Yeah. And
you guys would get on really well. You're all at similar age and everything, and you could see Chris's story. FIFO. You guys now know how hard that was for him doing that, and then transitioning to this full time.
Yeah.
And then I look at you guys. Man, you guys are in a tight spot to to say it mildly, with a major health issue.
Yeah.
So Lucy, what happened in that we're talking 12 months from where you are now? What the hell happened? Did you get enough energy to start working on this?
Yeah, so I think what Chris had told us had always been in the back of our mind, and when Reefe could no longer bring an income in and was supporting me and supporting our 2 young boys, they're not at childcare, so they're with us every day.
Yep.
So it didn't leave much capacity to bring work in, but I was spending a lot of time, just resting and healing, which is so important. But we were going, okay, we need to figure out a lifestyle that's going to allow us to generate an income, but let us put our health first in the long run. But in the short term, we've always been, I think, the type of people that love learning, that love education. It's just such a valuable investment. And so I jumped on to, I think, one of your seminars, and straight away just went, wow, this is so exciting. Reefe's been chatting to me about marketing for so long, and I'm like, yeah, it's not up my alley. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, you're a lawyer. Yeah, you spent all your life training as a lawyer.
Yeah.
And now you're stuck at home sick.
Yeah. And I needed something. I needed some way to contribute and feel that sense of purpose. So, we were paying, I think, about $3K a month for our marketing at the time. So we went, let's just switch over. Let's invest that money into the course and the training, because we've got this unique opportunity of, I have the time to do that right now. And so we did. And I think within 1 or 2 lectures, we were we'd completely redesigned our own solar website. And I was filled with so much excitement that we really did. We had this sense of, wow, this is such a terrifying time, but we felt this sense of control with the finances. We just knew that, okay, we're going to have to eat away at our savings for a little while because we can't work. But when we come out of this in the long run, we're going to have this new skill set. And listening to all the other champions' stories, the community is so helpful and inspirational. We just had this sense of it's going to be okay. We're gonna figure it out. Yeah.
Cool. And hats off to you both. You did. So you started. Like, what was the financial decision then? Because you've got no income, you've closed down the solar business, but you're building up your digital skills. You got this sense of excitement, seeing what you could do. And Reefe, you're involved in this as well. At what point do you feel you started to get your breath back financially? What did you do to do that? Was it?
Yeah, it was more just have a bit of blind faith. And
Okay.
I was just kind of like, whatever, I was selling off, assets that I'd accumulated over the years, just, trying to keep us going as long as possible. And I was just kind of I was like, if you just do the right thing, the money will come, was just like, if we just keep moving ahead, get Lucy healthy. I have no doubts when Lucy's healthy again, we will be able to make vast amounts of money, to make it happen. And you got to have a bit of, blind faith is probably a term to use.
Well, and you had been speaking with Chris and Beck too quite a lot as well. And, you'd said, you can see it's real, it's working. So what was your first step, Reefe? What did you decide to do?
So
Probably let me go with the website.
Like basically Lucy was just, when she was, at home, at the in-laws getting better, she was building these websites, and you start to see, okay, here's the potential. You can build a website, and, there's possibilities of rank and rent. We're working on our website, more leads are coming in. We're moving up the rankings in SEO, and you start to see it turn. And I knew from previously how the business was going and the way we'll bring work in to then seeing these improvements. We also had some other network things that I'd actually got to put into practice as well while we were off work, with our affiliate networks and things like that. And, I could see once we started this back up, it had a very strong potential to work very well. And, since we have started back up, it's been working very well.
I think it was quite exciting.
You guys we should explain to listeners, you relaunched the solar business, or you started again. So was that the turning point, do you feel, because you could now market your own leads?
So I think all through the course last year, we weren't taking on new work, but we were really using the solar website as our practice. And
all right, gotcha. So the business wasn't running at that point, but that's what you were just, okay, so it was still closed?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, okay, you were doing it tough then. All right, so no income whatsoever. That was your practice, that was your website that you put everything, you implemented everything onto. As a total beginner, I should mention to any listeners.
Yeah, which was
super an ex-lawyer. Not to disrespect any ex-lawyers, do we, Reefe? But that was your test bed, and then it just started working though.
So the content that we were writing was fantastic. I was just recording a lot of Reefe's conversations with, fellow installers, and just listening to his knowledge, and then, putting that into content. We, we redid our website so that it was much more speaking to our ideal customers. Everything that we learned, every seminar at eBiz, we were then on the computer, just typing away, making those changes. And it had such a positive effect. I think the website gained 150% increase in traffic or something like that.
We didn't really know if we were doing the right things, and then I think we sat down and had a meeting with
Calum.
And then he ran through the metrics, and he's like, "You're actually you're doing really well."
So Calum's one of our coaches. If you're listening to this, you can check out. There's plenty of interviews here with Calum. He's our head coach. That is absolutely brilliant, guys. And so what did you decide to do then? So you're still not on the tools or anything?
So probably around towards the end of the last year, we said, let's use this opportunity to just slowly open back up the business and see what happens, rather than dive headfirst in. I think because we also just really wanted to prioritize in the long run. We knew we couldn't run the business the way we previously had. I guess that was a big warning sign to us of I mean, we don't know what caused me getting sick, but it was that big red light saying, okay, we were just exhausted. You know, Reefe would be out the door first thing in the morning, get home late at night. He was on the tools during the day, then trying to do the admin and even sell systems, you know, in the evening. We felt like passing ships as a couple. I had my stress with the kids. He had the stress of earning the income. And
Reefe, you didn't get to surf every day, mate. You know, like that's no way to live your life, is it?
I didn't surf for months.
That's a touchy subject.
Yeah, especially where you guys live. So this is cool. So you decided once you saw this work, and if you're listening to this is the power of digital skills. And this is why I think this is the perfect example, guys. Thank you so much for coming on today, of digital skills can be your insurance for the future. You two, okay, so the universe handed you a pretty big challenge for 12 months, but you rode with it. It's like Liz says, you faced it full on. And then out of that, you realized, we can relaunch this business, but with one big change. Explain to us now how, like, because as you were starting to say there, Lucy, you realized this had to change. I take it you're not on the tools anymore, Reefe. What was it? How did you do all this? This sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so obviously working on the tools in, you know, like a small city like Adelaide, you build up your network of people that you work with, you know quite well. So we decided to use that network to bring on subcontractors to start completing our work. And then you just, all of a sudden you've got, 40, 50 hours a week to work on the business, bring more work in, look after the kids, help Lucy out with, e-business stuff as well. So now we have this, and what that then creates is this flywheel effect of, you can get more shit done and you can do more and everything moves quicker. And you get this exponential growth that you otherwise would never have had access to.
Yeah.
Mate, it's unreal. Like, that is so cool. If you're listening to this, listen to what Reefe's saying. And if you're in your own business as well, Reefe figured out, and Lucy figured out through this major challenge, a way to get off the tools in a very competitive niche. I do want to reiterate that too. Well done, guys, there. But by driving leads, now you're just out. So in a way, Reefe, you've got like the ultimate affiliate site or lead gen site. So you just sell the leads, do you, to these contractors basically through your network?
No, we sell the systems. So I'll do the leads, do the sales, sell the systems, engage the contractors to complete the work. They
do all the work. So you're basically an at-home dad now, but running a successful business.
Yeah.
So we got three teams on site today.
Right.
Yeah, 4 jobs getting completed.
Mate.
And hopefully once we're done here, I'll take the kids and the dog down the beach.
And as we're recording this, just so you know, it's 10:30 in the morning. So pretty hard lifestyle. I mean, you do live in an amazing part of the world too, in the McLaren Vale, which is one of Australia's premier wine growing regions, but happens to have beautiful beaches for surfing as well.
Yeah.
So literally, Reefe, for you now, your life would be completely transformed, wouldn't it? You just mentioned that you freed up 50 hours a week just working on where you used to work on the tools.
Yeah. It is completely. Like, it's always kind of what I'd hoped for.
Cool.
You go back 12 months, even before Lucy got sick, and just like I said earlier, unless you're forced to change, you really don't. And even back then, just thinking, how do you get from there to here? It seemed like such a difficult process.
Yep.
But then when you're forced to change and it happens, you go, wow, like that actually worked out quite well. And it wasn't, sure, the health concerns were very difficult, but the change process was not actually that painful. So,
and I think it's all from the leads and the website, because Reefe used to be running around, driving all over town, chasing these low quality leads. You'd have no shows. You'd have calls all the time about, what's this about free solar? Like, it just was such low quality leads that took up so much time. Whereas with the website and the renovations that we're able to do with it, the content we now produce, the lead quality is so much higher. And that allowed us, like when we first relaunched the business, we were very much just like, oh, we'll just give it a go. We'll just see if, you know, this can sustain us. And straight away, it transformed how we could live our life. So now we kind of tag team, you know, I'll do some work in the morning because we're running a digital agency as well now to support other businesses in the area online. So I'll work in the morning, Reefe will take the kids to the beach, then he comes back, I'll take the kids in the afternoon, Reefe does some work. And, you know, all our friends told us we were crazy to be having this blind faith and taking the jump, but the skills that we've learned have.
And look at you two now, like Lucy, your health looks great. You look fantastic, and obviously that's on the mend. And I do want to say a massive congratulations to you. I mean, you two must be super proud. I know all of us here at eBusiness are super proud of you too. Just, you know, going through that health journey. There's a few of us here who've been through the same sort of thing in eBusiness, and we know what you've gone through. And there's other podcasts where we talk about that. And look at you, you're on the other side. In just 12 months, you two have created the ultimate lifestyle business for you two where you're at the moment. And what I said to, if you're listening to this, there's another point to this and why we're recording this today is not only just to record this moment in time for Lucy and Reefe, but I said to them, you know, these guys are really good now at driving leads in the solar industry. If you've got a bit of experience, particularly in SEO, you'll know the solar industry is hugely competitive, and you guys were just total beginners 12 months ago. But that in and of itself is a huge money-making opportunity for you guys now going forward. You guys do a really good job. You're very genuine, and you'll get the genuine clients that you want. Pardon me. So I think there's a huge opportunity here beyond what you're even experiencing now with your own business. And that's what you two want to do, don't you? You want to expand out into helping other solar business, but also with a digital agency.
Yeah, I think we saw, just experiencing that frustration ourselves in the solar industry and trying to find the right people to work with to set you apart in such a competitive industry. Was so challenging, and we just spent so much time, even before I got sick, trying to figure out how to get Reefe off the tools because it just wasn't a sustainable lifestyle. So to share that knowledge with other installers and companies and would be amazing.
Yeah, you can do the same thing for other solar companies. So if you're a solar company listening to this and you need really good leads or a really good website or renovation, you need to speak to Reefe and Lucy. They're the real deal. Reefe owns, as you heard, these guys own a solar installation company. That's a pretty unique digital agency. You actually own a solar installation company as well, because you're not limited by borders now. That's the beauty too. If you're brand new to this, you've got to realize the guys live in McLaren Vale, okay, you know, it's a small Australian part of, you know, city, Adelaide, and they live on the beach. They have this beautiful lifestyle business, but they can reach businesses all around Australia. No worries. It's called Zoom. We're on it right now. And there is no borders with this. You could even do this overseas, although, just stick in your own backyard. It's a lot easier. That would be my advice there. But I do want to say, seriously, I'm seriously impressed with what you guys have achieved through this adversity. It's a scary time, and using those skills to build up, like relaunch your business that you closed down. That's gutsy in and of itself. And now discovering whole new pathways. I will also mention the guys of, like Lucy, that directory site you've built. I'm really excited for your sake. I'm excited for and seeing the sites that you build. You guys have got it. So it's funny, lawyer to full-on criminal lawyer to creative digital agency, working from home, full-time mum with the kids, with Reefe there surfing every day with the kids and stuff. He's going, more of that, please.
The kids bug him to take them surfing now. He can't really leave the house. Say, "Oh, kids, I'm going for a surf." Because they're like, "Take us with you."
But it is cool to see you both, you know, also working together so closely and raising the kids together. That's what Lisa and I were lucky to have many, many years ago. It was really important. We designed our lives with intention to do that, and it looks like you guys have done the same. And you live in a beautiful area. I think it's such a fantastic story, guys. Thanks so much for coming along today to share it.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We just honestly can't believe how quickly things can turn around. And just that education was the real catalyst for getting us through that time. So grateful for the community and what you guys have set up.
Thank you so much, guys. And it's such an inspirational story. So big thanks for coming along to share this. And I'm sure we're going to see more success stories out of you two. I just got a little slight feeling there. So I'm sure you'll be back on the podcast somewhere in the next 12 months. Awesome, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.